Cybersecurity is an ever-growing field, and representation within it matters more than ever. We here at the Other Side of the Firewall podcast strive to highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, people of color who have made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall into those senior and C-suite level positions. Aside from interviews of IT professionals just like you, our crew will have fun discussing the latest and greatest news, measures to protect yourself from bad actors on the interwebs, and sprinkle in some games entertainment as well. Now with that out of the way, let's get to the show.
Happy holidays, everybody. My name is Ryan Williams, and today, as always, I'm joined by Shannon, Top of the Morning Times,
What up? What up?
and Levon, Main Man Maynard.
Oh, good day to you guys.
Today's show, we'll discuss more of Google's fallout, a zero-click hack used on journalists, and the Department of Homeland Security's report on TCL TV's spying on Americans. But first, how's everybody's Christmas?
Man, Christmas was good. It's one of those holidays that's really for the children, not too much for me now as I get older, right? Like it's one of those things where I spend the money and Santa makes it happen. You know what I'm saying? I still got two younger ones at home, so I gotta ride that for a little bit, you know. But no, it was good, man. Work was good. Christmas was good. Everybody enjoyed themselves, stepping on little toys here and there that just got presented that apparently kids don't like, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's why they're left all over the floor. But yeah, no, everything's good. And before you even ask, I did not study this week. I did. I know.
There he is. It's all good. It's all
I was
good.
gonna ask. That's a good catch.
Right. You do that holiday studying when you have time off of work. You want to pull out the books. It's like, nah, not really. I think I'd rather just chill out a little bit, hang out with the family on the holiday.
It's crazy because I actually did set up to study one day. Like I had my notebook out, brought the laptop up, and then I got dragged away for something. And then when I came back, I looked at it and I was like, I could do it later. Never came back to it again. Never came back to it.
Yeah. I think it's kind of tough during the holidays. I think sometimes you want to you just want to kick back. It's obviously, do Christmas shopping, get things wrapped up for the kids, and for the wife and all that. But I understand. I feel you. I feel you, Shannon. I know how it can be.
How about you?
I'm trying to help you out.
I know. Hey, don't fall on that sword for me. I'm wrong.
Right.
I'm wrong.
I don't want to make sure Ryan doesn't pick on you too much. I'm trying to help him.
So what about you, Levon? What you got going on or had going on for Christmas?
It was pretty good. Maybe kind of opposite to Shannon's comment. So right now it's just me and my wife. We have the dog here, and so Christmas is all about us really. And my wife is really into the holiday spirit. So we put up the Christmas tree as soon as Thanksgiving was over. It's like the minute we finished the last bit of turkey, the Christmas tree was up. So we were pretty quick on that. And then had to get all the gifts for the wife and for the family. We shipped everything early in this month. But besides that, it was pretty good. Pretty much got everything that I wanted for Christmas. We got a chance to video chat with my family, as well as we video chatted with her family on Christmas, which was pretty nice. Had a little virtual Christmas gathering, and it was pretty cool. I think it was a pretty nice holiday. Obviously, it's with COVID going on right now, it's kind of a little tough. It would have been nice to have some of the family come over and be in person, but some of the numbers are ticking up, and I think I'm very I believe in the science, and I think there's a lot of things that we need to do just to make sure everybody staying safe. So that's what we did this year.
Okay, that's what's up. I did the unwrapping of presents virtually as well, which it's not bad. They put me in the corner so I can see everybody unwrapping their stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have a dog.
You may sound like you got in trouble man. They put me in the corner. Oh man.
Right.
No,
right.
man, I gotta be able to see the whole tree, all the kids unwrapping their stuff.
That's good.
It's hilarious though because I took a picture of it, but the dog, they got our dog a chew toy for Christmas, and she immediately ran up to the camera, not paying attention to it, but just in the camera, just chewing on it. So all I see is the dog. I'm like, all right, but it was good though.
That's cool.
I definitely no complaints. I think this is my second Christmas away from home, not in a row though. So it's always different. But they definitely included me. I got to see some cool stuff, so I was very
Nice.
happy about that. But unlike Shannon, I have been doing some studying.
Oh, dang. Dang.
But it's not because I want to; it's because I have to. So I'm been trying to study for CHFI. I was about to crack the books, and when I was going through LinkedIn, they have this little section where you can click on badges. So I clicked on badges because I was running through those real quick, just out of curiosity, because they tell you when they're going to expire. And my CCNA that I thought had expired last summer, because that's when it was supposed to, I was tied up doing PMP. So I was like, I gotta let it go because I can't re-up that cert.
Mm,
Apparently, it was it's considered legacy because it's the old CCENT and ICD 1 and 2 situation. Those are legacy now. There's a new CCNA, and then that new CCNA was kicked out another 6-7 months because of COVID. So my CCNA doesn't expire until January 28th of next year. So,
ooh.
so I was like, they've given me so many chances. I have to do this now.
Right, right, right.
Like this is fate, right? So I go through and like the whole process is different now for all those out there doing Cisco certs. With now they have CEs and all that good stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. If it's like CEs, like I remember them to be like, I could just read up on some stuff real quick. No, Cisco has done it the Cisco way, and CEs are not easy to come by.
Mm,
So you have to either pay to play or you have to find the free ones. And the free ones are few and far between. So they got me out here learning, which is a good thing. SD-WAN, so software, I just drew a blank. It'll come
software
back to me.
defined.
Everybody know,
Is it software
yeah,
defined?
software defined. Thank you. Wireless.
That was a quick bing right
I
there.
was,
Yeah,
thank you. Um, so I have to go through and do the master class because that one is free. Obviously, I just started it because I don't even know what it stands for. But I've never done any of the SD-WAN or networking in general. So I'm learning all new stuff, and it is not easy, man. Like after each module, you have to take a quiz, and then each quiz then gives you your CEs. So it can range from a 7-hour class that gives you 2 CEs to a 14-hour class that gives you 5 CEs. And I gotta do this to get 30 CEs.
dang.
So yeah, so I've only done the beginner course. I did the foundation. That took me a whole day. And then you take the quiz. And here's a pro tip for people. When you go through the modules and you watch the videos, you can click the transcript button and then you can copy the transcript. So that way,
Ooh,
in case you need a refresher later on, you can dig through the transcript. But
right.
it's definitely one of those open book tests where they don't use the same words, so you're not going to control find this stuff. You still have to know what was said to be able to find it in the transcript to give the right answer.
Mm,
So you get to take these quizzes 10 times before they lock you out. So and you get 30 minutes each time you take it.
nice.
So that's what
Nice.
I've been doing, Shannon, over
Dang.
here
Hey, you
Wow.
struggling.
look, that did not
Wow.
make me envy any study time. You did not make me envy books hearing that. I know I need to. Let me not lie. I know I need to, but after hearing that, I'm like, maybe I should just put these books away. Not look at.
Man,
No, I
I could just feel like
I,
Shannon sweating while you're hearing that. It's like, oh my God, what the hell? What are you doing?
I definitely don't want to do it, but I'm like, man, they gave me 2 shots. I got to do it. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna try to make it happen. I'll keep y'all posted though. Like if I don't hit that 30, I'm gonna be super sad.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But you got this. It's no problem.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be an issue
You'll knock it
getting
out.
it. It's just it's what leads up to it, right? All
Yeah,
putting in.
Yes.
putting in that work.
Yeah, but it's good we got this kind of off time. Like obviously I still gotta go work every day, but things around the holidays calm down. So I get a little bit of study in during work and then a lot of it after work.
That's good.
Well, I'll
That's
have no
Yes,
excuse
sir.
next week. I'm gonna leave next week, so if I come back next week and I say I haven't studied, like I need a punch in the face or something. You know what I mean? Like I had time. I had the time. Didn't have to go to work. Didn't
Right.
have to log into work. Didn't have to do any of that. So yeah, it'd be no excuse.
Hmm.
All
That's
right.
what's up. We're gonna be
That's what's
checking
up.
up on
We
you.
gonna hold you. We gonna hold you to it.
Yeah,
So
no,
There it
no.
is. I gotta do it now.
but to pivot from that to topic one, uh, let's get into it. So topic one is that an HBCU group terminated their partnership with Google. So there's more Google fallout. So this doesn't necessarily fall into the do you stand with Dr. Gabriel situation. There was another woman of color that worked for Google in a very high position. She was in charge of their HBCU recruitment because prior to 2014, before she came on board, Google didn't hire any Black engineers from HBCUs to their company. But after she was hired, she brought in over 300 engineers that were both Black and brown to Google, and she has been recently terminated. So this actually happened in September, but I just now found out about it because of her account started tweeting about it, as well as this HBCU group called HBCU 20 by 20, which is a network for minority students who attended historically Black colleges and universities, has cut ties with Google because of their poor behavior, at least from their perspective, my perspective as well. But April Christina Curley, like I said, she's been working for Google since 2014. And during those 6 years, she's brought in over 300 Black and brown students. And it was always a point of contention to the point of she was denied for several promotions. Her performance feedbacks weren't complimentary. Her compensation was reduced. She stated that she was yelled at. She was excluded from meetings. She was denied leadership roles. She was harassed by managers. And she was even told that her Baltimore accent was a disability that she needed to disclose to colleagues. Obviously, this is still up in the, not to say her termination was up in the air, but the findings are still up in the air. Like she says, she has receipts and she will be releasing those for those who are concerned. Like I said, this HBCU has cut ties with Google, and Google has not commented in any regard to any of this. So their silence is very telling, in my opinion. But how do you guys feel about this?
So you know the old saying, you never look a gift horse in the mouth, right? That is exactly what they did here. So like Google could have like they were bringing the talent to you. They didn't have to spend the time or spend the money to go out and search, all these different HBCUs, even different organizations that may have people of color uh, uh, working for them that may be seeking them out. They had an organization that was willing to provide everything for them, and they mucked it up. You know what I mean? Like why? I don't get why this went down this way. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't. I don't know. I'm a little flustered right now. I don't know why. I've read this article a couple times already. I'm a little flustered right now, but yeah, this was not the way this should have gone down. Now, I believe it happens, right? We after Dr. Gabriel, we kind of knew that there was a problem with the culture and everything inside of Google. But to read some of the stuff that she put out there that was happening to her, like the Baltimore accent thing you brought up, and there was another one, and this one actually probably has to do with her being a female. Though they asked one of the managers asked her allegedly which of her teammates she would sleep with, and it's like why do this? Like you're too big a company to go down this road and to want to have to do this. And even then, so like it's not like they're coming in and saying we need half your employees to come from HBCUs, right? At least be reflective of the population that is out there, which is 14% African American, right? Which is the majority of what they're looking for, and they can't even do that. I don't understand how we get to this point. You know what I'm saying?
My whole beef with corporations, like corporations not an entity to itself. It's not like Google is a an entity that can speak and talk. It's made up of people. If the majority of your people are not a representation of the
The population as a whole, yeah.
population, right, then obviously there's some issues because there are plenty of Black engineers and people in those roles who can fulfill those seats. So you hired a recruiter, which was smart, to bring these people in, but you did not protect this recruiter. So how can you expect for her to be able to function and recruit people properly? And then when she complains about her working conditions, you then turn around and quickly dismiss her and terminate her, and you expect there to be no fallout, especially in the same month. Like maybe it happens in succession so quick that they didn't see the writing on the wall. Like maybe we shouldn't terminate her after we just did this. You know what I mean? Like the right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing. But it just further feeds it stokes the flames. You know what I mean? Like where there's smoke, there's fire. There's obviously an issue here. and then your silence. That just it's beyond belief. Like you need to say something. At least provide credible evidence of why you terminated this person. Like, that's not something you have to do with every single individual, but for you to do this to two women of color in quick succession who both complain about your culture is very unbecoming.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get it. And I don't get it because their CEO is Indian, right? He's Indian American.
Right.
Sundar Pichai. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Like, I don't get why this wouldn't be something that he would think is affecting people that are even like him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I don't know, man. It kind of goes to our conversation that we had off topic before we started the show about how some people don't feel as though they're under the umbrella of people of color potentially. Like maybe he doesn't believe there is an issue because it's not impacting him or the other engineers that look and potentially come from where he came from. But again, Google is not a company to themselves. They're owned by somebody. If they keep having these issues, they don't necessarily have to go to the CEO of Google. They can jump over to the parent company, which would be problems for him. So he should probably try to put this out as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's true. And they're
Yeah,
and they're on
absolutely.
the stock market, right? So like stockholders can make a decision for you as well. Get them up out of there.
Right. Exactly. So it would probably be within it'd be for his benefit as well as he fits within the umbrella. So you should be trying to, be more uh, welcoming to the population as a whole. Like you should care about people of color being in these positions. You should protect those who have spoken out, rightfully so. Like I can see if this person was just a troublemaker, and then if that's the case, then please make us aware of that. But I don't think so. Your silence lets me believe that someone beneath you messed up, and you're trying to cover it up.
Levon, what you got, man?
But
Yeah, I was just gonna say I don't think I have much more than what you guys have already said, but it's one of those situations that something needs to be done. It's obviously there's an issue going on, um, and I think a lot of these big companies, obviously companies like Google, are very big, and people feel like they may feel honored or like they feel like privileged to be able to work for that company because they're so big and they're well known. And I think people in general probably clam up, like even like a coworkers or people that are around them, probably don't want to put themselves out there at fear of risk of them losing their job or their position in the company. And so I'm sure there's many more stories like this that, whether or not Google or some other companies that go kind of unsaid because people are kind of afraid to lose their job. And it's kind of a shame that, things like this could happen. If, everything they said is true, obviously, um, I suppose everything's kind of hearsay for the most part, besides knowing that she was let go. But it sounds like this is very likely, very possible that this happened and that she was mistreated in her workplace, and things like this. I don't understand. If is it so much to ask for people to be treated fairly and to be represented within a company. And I think it's like not too difficult for a company to kind of make that a goal in of itself, to make sure they're representing the community and representing the country, to the best that they can. And I just hope more gets done, more can be done, and hopefully that leadership within Google speaks out. Whatever they have to say about this situation, and make sure their voice is heard, and make sure that they make it a point that this is a known issue, and that they're going to address it or they're going to follow up on it and do something about it.
But I think we kind of beat that horse to death, right? So hopefully next week we don't have to talk about Google unless it's something positive, like hey, we have this in place for next year. Or, hey, we're planning on doing this, or hey, we sincerely apologize to these two people for their wrongful termination. So hopefully that's next week's not. Hey, Google did something else dumb. Let's talk about it.
Right.
So to pivot on that, we have topic 2. I'll let you take it away.
All right, topic 2. So from Yahoo Finance, this story comes from Yahoo Finance. Dozens of journalists' iPhones hacked with NSO zero-click spyware, says Citizens Lab. Now, So Citizen Lab researchers say they found evidence that dozens of journalists had their iPhones silently compromised with spyware used by nation states. And what was interesting about this was this isn't the same type of spyware where you like click on the link and they gain control. They said that this one was more stealthy, like it was one that you didn't have to have active participation in, apparently, to get this to work for you. And I'll tell you something. Like when I first read this, do you guys remember it was a few years back, it was News International over in Britain that had the issue with the phone hacking scandals. They were hacking into the voicemails and stuff like that. Do you guys remember that? Probably like 6-7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, maybe. It was Rupert Murdoch, the guy that owns Fox News, Australian billionaire. It was one of his companies that he owned. That's what this made me think about. I was like, oh my gosh, this is already happening. And now they're getting more stealthy about it, right? They found a better way. There's a better way for hackers to go in and do it, and without your knowledge, right? So even if you would have went to your users, because they always say train your users, right, and train people, how to use equipment and whatnot. If you told them don't click on this link, it wouldn't have helped you. You know what I'm saying? Something in the technology that actually got them, and yeah, this was interesting, man. So this is one of those things. It's just like with the supply chain issue we talked about last week, right? Like it doesn't seem like anybody did anything wrong, but here we are. We're in a situation again where somebody's privacy was taken advantage of, or somebody's privacy was looked into. But yeah, this was another scary one, right? They said they found evidence that a journalist at Arabic television station Al Arabi in London had fallen victim to it as well. And the researcher said Dridi was his name, was likely targeted by the UAE government. So again, this is nation states, right? This is not like some kid in the basement over there playing around. They're saying this is countries out there trying to find out what these journalists are talking about to either head it off at the pass or maybe put some undue influence on the people so articles don't get written. You know what I mean? And that's what makes this very scary. Very scary.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's it's like kind of like we said before about the issues with the I want to say FireEye, but not FireEye, but the SolarWinds hack that's happened recently. But it's like people, they're going about their business, not really, thinking anything is anything malicious or anything wrong's going on with their phone, anything's been compromised. All of a sudden that they got this 0-day this hack on their iPhone, and then they just pretty much lose all security within their system. It's like, I don't know, it's one of those things that you try your best to be good about updating and patching and securing your device, and then something just comes out that is like, oh, it's found a loop, a little bypass of all your security mechanisms, and it's gotten into your device. But it's like, it's only so much you can do. I mean, you got to try to do the best you can to protect your device. And if something like this happens, you gotta just address it as best you can and try to resolve and identify the compromise and try to follow the steps to resolve and identify what's been compromised and what you can do to fix it and prevent it in the future. But it's another one of those tough situations. I don't know much more that can be done. But hopefully this just one thing that came across my mind just now was that I know they do, they have people, they have these groups out there that attempt to hack, like kind of like white hat hackers, or what do you want to call them, or like maybe like red teams that go out and just try to hack devices to see what they can find. And maybe they could have found this ahead of time if they were doing some more like deeper like analysis of some of the software and finding some of these exploits. But even then, these people are just doing the best they can. They can't find everything.
And here's the thing. I know I probably seem like I'm the Apple hater in the group. I'm not. Okay. I'm not saying that I am, because every time that comes up Apple, it happens to be something that I found, right? But the reason we want to make people aware of this is because I have heard with my own 2 ears people tell me, "Oh, Apple products can't be hacked." You know what I mean? And in my mind, I'm like, that's not the case. Especially when it's a country, right? It's a nation state that putting the effort into this. Mm-hmm. They have their population at their disposal. People in their countries they can find the best and the brightest to say, come work for us and do this. You know what I mean? It can be
Right.
done. It's just a matter of them putting the time and putting the resources into it. And like I've said before, I believe it wasn't last week, it was maybe the week before. Like Apple has gone outside of the American walls to all these other countries. You know what I mean? So it's only a matter of time. Like you've increased your footprint, so it's only a matter of time before you start seeing more of these types of things. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to say
Right.
Apple's not a good company. They don't make a good product, right? You don't get to become a $1 trillion company because you put a crap product or crap products, plural, out there. You know what I'm saying? So they're doing something right, but it's just one of those things where, all right, you see this is an issue now. Now because you're going to have to get your PR team out there to try to address this, right? And then you're going to have to try to assure the public, oh, it's not an issue. We fixed it like this. You know what I mean? Which they did. Now they did put a fix out there for the iMessage vulnerability, right? So it's been fixed, but it's just even if you're careful, you still have to be cautious. You know what I mean?
So I am the Apple fan out of the group. Like I love me some Apple, right? Every product they make, almost, because I don't have the over the ear headphones yet, I should say. And so as soon as I don't have any bills or responsibilities, those would be the first thing on my list to purchase. I have beef with this though. So this is the second vulnerability we've heard about in the past couple of episodes that we've done, because we talked about the ad hoc vulnerability that basically left you open to anyone hacking into your device. They can pull pictures, operate your camera, listen to your mic, endless possibilities. And then that had to be patched out. Now this one, I don't know if this one happened before or after that. And I don't believe that they are working in concert, because this one specifically called out Apple's iMessaging application. But I have a problem with this only because Apple does tote themselves as being one of the most secure platforms. Like iOS platform on phones is supposed to be the most secure, the most robust. You can trust Apple with your money, with your Apple Card on there. They have all of these features, yet you have, like you said, nation states preying on journalists. And if they're doing this to journalists, then what are they doing to regular folks? So you can't be a $1 trillion company that toasts yourself as being the most secure, unless this is what the most secure looks like, and then all the other companies are even more vulnerable. But I don't see the receipts for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I just keep hearing Apple's name the past couple of episodes. So this is worrying and concerning. Like I don't believe anybody's caring about my stuff on my phone, but just in general, when you have this, I believe NSO is an Israeli-based company who is selling these vulnerabilities to other nations. It's like, hey, Saudi Arabia, hey, UAE, you can spy on anybody you want to. And then they turn around, because I have beef with NSO as well, even though they don't care. They turn around and their reply is that this is the first time they heard of these assertions, and that they, let me get the quote right. This is the first time we are hearing of these assertions. As we have repeatedly stated, we do not have access to any information related to the identities or individuals upon whom our systems is alleged to have been used to conduct surveillance. But you sell a surveillance tool. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't say, I sell these things, and if you use them, then what they say? We take all necessary steps in accordance with our product misuse investigation procedures to review the allegations. So you sell a spy device, and then you turn around and you slap people on the hand if they use said spy device on people. I don't understand.
Right.
I need to see the EULA to see who is this product for.
Right.
Who am I supposed to be spying on?
Right.
What are you prescribing this product to do? Like, it just seems as though they're like, we sell this thing to the highest bidder, and then if we hear about bad stuff, we'll say, no, don't do that.
Right.
That's not okay.
Right. We don't want you to do that.
Their wording, though, right? So, like, the way they worded it was like, no, we don't have any of that information. No, because you sold it to UAE has that information, right? Of course you don't have it. Technically, what you said is accurate. You know what I mean? Right.
I'm not saying that that governments don't do this. I'm sure the majority of governments around the world are doing something like this, but it's concerning that you can target a said group and then turn around and say you didn't target them. And then the company who sold you the product can say, "Oh, we don't sell it. We don't sell spyware to spy on people.
Hmm.
That's not what this is
Right.
for."
Right.
You're like, come on.
We sell it for home use, just so to play around with,
That's
and
like
then
me.
I don't know,
That's like me being a bike shop
toss it out.
owner and being like, I don't sell you bikes to ride. It's not for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you decide to write these, it's on you. Like I didn't build these things for people to be on top of and to pedal and such. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. Like now we know who NSO is, so I'll definitely be looking for the NSO group in my Twitter feed and such to see what other shenanigans they're up to. So I didn't know they're Israeli, but you know of another Israeli company that a lot of Americans use their app, right? It's called the Waze app. It's like Google Maps
Hmm.
or Apple Maps. Like I've used Waze as well. Like sometimes Waze will give you um, better determination of how traffic will be than Google does. Uh, and when using this app, like if I need to find a shortcut somewhere, like Waze is like the best of the best in my opinion. But I didn't know there was an Israeli until somebody told me. They're like, yeah, basically, like if they wanted to map out every street and traffic pattern, they could because like literally we are giving our information to another country about how we drive our vehicles and where we're going to. So it's
I
a
was not
little
aware of that.
concerning.
I know of Waves. I
Yeah.
don't use Waves, but
Yeah. Then,
yeah, I didn't know they were Israeli.
yeah,
They probably sell their stuff to NSO. Like,
right. Yeah.
yes, Israeli company, and I love the app. I've been on the what is it, the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, as the tunnel where the
Right.
little
Yeah.
arms come down to close the tunnel off because there's an accident. I've been right there and it came down in front of my vehicle, and then 5 minutes later, it's told me that traffic is stopped.
Mm.
And I'm like, come on, Google, like. But Waze is always spot on.
Yeah.
It's like it will tell you there's a tire on the side of the road. They're like accident in 2 minutes, and you roll up on it. You're like, man, that's crazy accurate. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
yeah, it's
interesting. Yeah,
crazy.
I didn't know about their Israeli ties. But yeah, I knew that like Google had purchased them, a few years back or whatever. But I think it kind of incorporated into their map, like Google Map or whatever. But that's pretty
But if we're
interesting.
being honest, though, right?
Um,
Like we have to assume that's happening for any convenience that's provided to us, right? Especially these things that are free. And we've talked about this before. If
mhm.
something's provided to you for free, someone is making money on
Yeah.
the back end, right? Like I can upload a YouTube video for free, right? I can make that happen, but
Hmm.
all that advertising and whatnot is what's getting someone paid.
It's very true. Very true. If you're
You
not
are the
paying for the
product,
product,
yeah.
you are the product, right? Like
Right.
I think they said Facebook makes like $12 a head off of selling ads for your free account. So I mean, times
It's a lot.
what is Facebook, like 1 billion people now?
Right.
They're making
Yeah.
money hand over fist. But it's so crazy. Like I'm definitely a hypocrite because I don't necessarily, as I get older, I don't like the being the product. I don't like being spied on, but I love the convenience. Like I just it's nothing like Waze telling me that there's a tire in the middle of the road, and then I know to switch streets. There's no, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing like apparently Google Sidewalk is going to tell me when I drop my keys
Yeah,
and help
it's
me go
true.
find them.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
but I'm giving up so much for these niceties. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I think that's important. You got to be aware that, just like you said, it's kind of like nothing's really free. When you kind of break it down, there's always something that somebody's making some money off of it somewhere. They can't develop this product and software for free. Somebody has to pay them to work on this and develop it and make sure it's working properly. And if nobody's getting paid, then
Right.
it's gonna be, and they're doing it for free. Then they're just like they're either, I don't know, getting sponsored by some, like maybe some government like subsidies or something like that, or like. And I don't think there's any as far as I know, I'm not familiar with any companies that are kind of working free for the people without without being getting some sort of subsidy from the government, or like like a public service, or somebody's working on your roads out front, something like that. But there's anything like this, any product that you're using in technology like this, you're the product basically, and they're using your information to
Right.
feed into their database, and they can sell it to other people, and and just build some revenue off of your activities. So
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a good segue. So speaking of products that are selling your information, hey listeners, please remember that you can support this podcast directly by becoming members of the show's Patreon. Here you'll be able to listen to the podcast 7 days early, completely ad-free. However, in these trying times, we understand that you may not be able to become a Patreon just yet. In that case, please listen to the show once it's available on free feeds, leave us constructive feedback, and share with your blurred friends and family. Thank you. You, Levon Maynard, dropped another scary article in the feed about China using TCL TVs to spy on Americans. So I appreciate you because I own a TCL television. And again, I know the dangers of this China, or I should say state-sponsored TV company, but their TVs are so good and so cheap.
It's hard to pass on that deal.
It's so hard to pass. I got a 75-inch TV for less than some people pay for a 50.
Yeah.
Like I love my TCL, but my TCL apparently loves me too much because it's capturing my data.
That's right.
So in the article you popped in here called "The Department of Homeland Security, China using TCL TVs to spy on Americans." This was in Tom's Guide, the website, where basically they said the acting Department of Homeland Security Secretary Chad Wolf, so he's the guy who's currently sitting in this seat because the other guy is no longer sitting in that seat. He went on a rant about how TCL has built-in backdoors to bypass security in their Android-powered TV sets. So I don't know if you want to go a little bit deeper into it.
Yeah, so it's just like you're saying, it's and it kind of builds off. I know we talked about this a little while back, but it's just kind of, I would say, blown up, or it's gotten a little bit more notoriety because the Department of Homeland Security is actually investigating it and making sure that there's no no shadiness going on by the Chinese government to spy on our activities. And I know they according to what I believe was the original article when it first came out, the vulnerability was identified, or the backdoor was identified, that essentially people could, or this company could access data from your TV. And I suppose it maybe depends on what you store on your TV. Maybe they could access if you have like your Netflix password stored in your on your TVs, like smart features or whatever. Maybe they could retrieve that. That's as far as I know that they can access. There was some TCP port that was open that the company could connect to on TVs, and I think shortly after they came out with a patch that pretty much was supposed to block that, or supposedly to resolve that access point on the TVs. But the fact that the Department of Homeland Security is investigating it and looking into it is kind of important, because I'm sure this goes with many Chinese products, that there's always kind of the concern whether or not somebody's some state-owned entity is like trying to use this product as a way to infiltrate either the general public, or maybe government officials, like resources or houses, and just to get into their or even like a base or something like that in some office space. If you have if you have some smart devices that are owned by Chinese companies in these workspaces, they connect to the Wi-Fi, and they can be trying to listen in, maybe like a Google Mini kind of thing, even though it's obviously not Chinese, but something like that, something to that respect, that's trying to listen in. Those are of concern, especially for these people that are in important positions. So I think it's just interesting. I shared it with the group because I just thought it was like a nice little follow up to what we reported maybe a few episodes back. And I know that you're a big TCL supporter yourself, Ryan. So I wanted to make sure.
I am.
Make sure you.
I am. I feel personally attacked.
But they have, not that I'm trying to like sell them, but I guess like you said, they have good value. They perhaps like a lot of things made directly in China are going to be cheaper I know they have like a means of making products cheaper than maybe in the U.S. or some other companies. So I can understand the intrigue and as long as they make a good product and as long as they patch these like vulnerabilities, then I'm sure it's not a huge concern, but it's something that you got to be aware of when you have these products inside your homes, that you're kind of aware of what information is available to it and what it's able to connect to, and to be
You
smart
know, for
about it.
this one, I don't know if it's necessarily that they're trying to get any type of secret information. I think it's one of those things where they are trying to see viewing habits,
Yeah.
right? So, like we went through this whole thing 4 years ago where
Right.
where Russia was influencing an election, right? And what's to say it's not the same thing going on here? So they see what your viewing habits are, right? They see through your TV, you watch more CNN than Fox News or MSNBC or whatever it may be. So you log onto your Facebook and you start seeing these ads, that pop up that say, hey, this presidential
Uh-huh.
candidate, this or whatever, and they could be influencing it that way. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know if they're necessarily
Right.
looking for secret
Hmm.
information because I would think in the Department of Defense, maybe like they may be hip to the game that, okay, we know where these are manufactured. They're not coming in any of our facilities. You know what I'm saying? So they're doing
Right.
it for the
Right.
general public to
Yeah.
just see where they can possibly manipulate one way or the other and where they'll vote, what they'll buy, even maybe, right? Like products they maybe create in China. I don't know. Purely speculation.
Yeah. That's a good point. And yeah, absolutely. And I was going to say, as you were mentioning that, it kind of reminded me that, like, I know even Zoom had an issue for a while when they were coming out. I think a lot of their data was being sent through like Chinese servers, and I think a lot of like public places, like schools and things like that, were no longer they kind of like stopped using their product for a while because of some of the concerns with where the data was getting sent to. And I think since then they've at least Zoom's come out and said something to the effect that they are going to route all U.S. like traffic to U.S. servers, things like that, and like they have like some security, like you can have secure meetings and things like that, so it's not like they're actually like not just like open on the wire. They're kind of like secured SSL, like kind of transport um, over the wire. So trying to lock down their infrastructure and make sure that people feel comfortable and secure with chatting with their grandmother about what they're cooking for
That's the
Thanksgiving
important
and
stuff,
things like
right? That's
that.
the important stuff.
Uh,
What are you eating on Thanksgiving? Gam,
right. Yeah. Gam, what you cooking up for Thanksgiving? So, but yeah, I think it's just interesting. I think, like you said, Shan, I think it's um, they in this respect. I don't think there was so much. If they were even really exploiting it, maybe they just weren't aware that that was open, but maybe they did. But if they were just trying to just get TV viewing habits, and I don't think people store a lot on the TVs besides maybe like like I said, username and password for like a some sort of like smart TV feature. They go into Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, something like that. But it to me was it's a concern, but I wasn't like blown away like, oh my god, I'm never buying a TCL again, or I would never ever consider buying a TCL. But it's just one of those things that you do have to be aware of, and you do have to judge yourself as far as what your risk is if you're concerned about people accessing your 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 TV or what have you. Or if you think that Chinese, this particular Chinese company is out to get you, you would definitely have to judge that for yourself. And I think TCL came out with like a statement themselves saying that I think for the most part, they were saying that they've been in the business for like 15 years with the U.S. and I, I forgot what they exactly said, but I think something to the fact they don't have any reason to be to act in a shady manner towards the U.S. and they have quality product. People have been using this stuff for a long time and have a good reputation and things like that. Um, and they said they're regarded as a model citizen and a good actor for their adherence to local laws and customs in the U.S. and throughout the world. So they claim that they follow regulations. They try to keep everything up and up. And as soon as they were advised of this vulnerability, they put out a patch that took care of it. So hopefully that this is kind of like the end of it, and hopefully the government, the Department of Homeland Security, just goes through their motions and make sure that everything is on the up and up, and then we can just go about buying more TCLs or Samsungs or Sonys or whatever you want to get without having to worry about somebody getting into
So
your device.
go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead, Ryan. No.
Yeah. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was gonna say, because we're kind of out of luck regardless. Like TCL is sponsored by the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, right? They receive funds to compete at the global market. They are the third largest television manufacturer, and I bet you the other two are not American either. We don't make those here, so it's kind of like, who are you giving your data to? Are you going to give it to South Korea
LG
with
is
your
out there.
Samsung? Or are you
It's
going
a
to give
big
it to
Sony. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
yeah, Sony's Japanese? I mean, who is making TVs in America? It's not Philips, because Philips is owned by somebody from overseas as well. I don't believe they're an American company. I could be wrong though, and I'm not going to Google that.
I think you're right.
I believe their own. I believe it's either Philips or Westinghouse you believe to be American, and they're not. They're actually subsidiaries of foreign companies.
I think they're Netherlands. I think that's what I just did a little quick search. They're like a Dutch company, apparently.
Gotcha. So no one makes TVs here, because then the TV would cost $10,000. So,
and it'd be like a 20-inch.
You know what I mean? Like, but I'm not defending TCL. I have no real ties to them in any regard, right? Except for I own one of their larger sets. I do love it. However, if I had to purchase another TV because I felt they were spying on me, I would do that as well. After I get my Apple over the ear, because of priority.
That's right, $500 or so. Yep.
I don't know, man. Like the whole beef with China has been a homeland beef for decades now. Like they're our number one competitor when it comes to 5G, when it comes to electronics in general. It used to be Japan, and then obviously we teamed up with Japan, but China's eclipsing all of them because of cheap labor, and they're propping themselves up through the national apparatus. Like there's data. Like I did a bunch of research, not for this, but for a paper I had to write. But China, when it comes to aggregation of data, they're on a totally different planet than the rest of the world. And that's why we have to be careful, and that's why we have beef with them when it comes to the internet and back doors and things of that nature. Like they're collecting so much information on the world, and we don't know how and when or if they're able to leverage that information. Like there's whole cities in Africa where China will come in and say, hey, if you let us build your data center, we will then in turn support your harbors, or we'll bring you more labor, or we'll do X, Y, we'll build you roads. Like their campaign is ridiculous, and the amount of data in their data centers that they're pulling, again, is ungodly. And now they have quantum satellites in orbit now, which is pulling more data. Like they are the Borg.
So you're telling me
Star Trek? You know,
you're telling me
It was on a
resistance is
totally
futile? We
different-
might as well just let this happen then? Is that what
totally
you're saying?
different level. Hey man, first the TV, and then it's gonna be your robot maids. It's gonna be
Rosie
China,
would never do
man.
that
Like,
to us.
They make everything. Like,
That's right. Don't do it, Rosie. Yeah. Hey,
man, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
and kind of along those lines, I actually just did a quick search. Just found out that one of the top companies is actually a TV company that's American owned, American company, is actually Vizio. I didn't know that. Vizio is actually
No, I didn't
it's
know
an American company. And one people, I think it's great. I think some people may be concerned though. The CEO is from Taiwan. He's born in Taiwan, but moved to Hawaii, and I think he's a U.S. citizen by this point. But some people might have issue like, maybe it's some sort of secret backdoor kind of thing. But they're owned and operated in the U.S. And they obviously serve the worldwide community with their product. But if somebody was in the States and they I only want to buy American made, then I guess Vizio would be your
And I
best
remember,
bet.
I remember those being fairly cheap TVs too.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are very
Yeah.
cheap. Yeah. Yeah, they just came out with an OLED Vizio. Not too long ago I was looking at. I was like, you know what? I want an OLED, but LG is messing with it. So,
Right.
but now no Vizio's made in the States. I mean, obviously, the best television right now on the planet, in my humble opinion, is the LG CX or LG C10,
Yeah.
whichever one you want to
Yeah.
call it. That's not an American
Right.
company. Um,
Yeah. Those are the new hotness right
but
now.
Yeah, then obviously the Samsung the 4Ks and 8Ks that they've been rolling out are also amazing TVs. Someone may own one of the largest ones in the group.
Yeah,
Nah,
Shannon, I know. I heard about you
Yeah,
getting
they
on.
but I don't have those Samsung money either. I don't have no LG money. I got no Samsung money. So it's between TCL and
Right.
Vizio for
Right.
me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start looking at the Vizio, and I didn't know they were American owned. I have to I'm gonna have to throw a couple bucks towards Vizio in the future.
Yeah, don't you
Right. I
love
know.
America? Levon buying these foreign televisions.
You know what?
No, I
Yeah.
had no clue.
What would really make me support them if they start sponsoring us? I'd really be,
Yeah,
that would really put me over the edge.
they like Vizio could brand themselves as the TV
Right.
for people of color. That's not a bad idea. Hey, they
Right.
need to hit us up.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like join the platform. Give me your largest television to
Yeah.
review first.
man.
That's right.
Give me
That's
that.
what I'm talking about. I don't mind that. I let them do that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
learned something
Yeah.
new today though. I did not know that, so that's good to know because I got a smaller Vizio. It's in the office,
Yeah.
so maybe I'll replace that with another
Yeah.
Vizio.
I had assumed this
Never
whole
know.
time that Vizio was made in another country. I had no idea. Its headquarters in California, I believe, and yeah, it was it was founded in 2002, so it's been around for a minute.
Okay,
Dang.
all right.
Yeah, today you learn. Today you know.
I got something new. But so I didn't write up a patch notes because everything that we talked about has been patched, or at least the specific ones we talked about, like the 0 day as well as the Vizio. And Vizio said it was only 2% of their televisions were vulnerable, and they passed those out. So if you own one of those TVs, they said plug into the internet and pull the latest firmware, and you'll be good to go. So I mean, but if you're paranoid about the set, maybe you replace it.
So this clearly did not steer you away from them.
Throw it away.
And I'm not saying it should. Right? Like to hit on something Levon said, like they may not be being shady, but it could be lazy, right? In your testing process, like how did you not figure this out before you put it out there to the masses?
Right.
So
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not saying give up on TCLs, people.
Right.
I'm not saying I don't have one, but my TV's like 7 years old, so.
Man, those TVs are beautiful though. Like they make the best QLEDs and LCDs. I think they're trying to start pushing out OLEDs. Or if they haven't already, I haven't checked in a while because they're out.
So I heard a little bit about this. I think coming this new year, I think they already came out with one, but it's like I think it was 110 inch. I think they call it like mini LED. But it's like the technology. Yeah,
yes.
The technology of it's supposed to mirror some of the OLED technology where it's the individual pixels are kind of lit up, so it's less. You get the deeper blacks, and you can kind of like you don't have that bloom effect around like the whites. I think the bright things that are on the screen, the dark background. Right. So they're working on that.
Yeah, I have looked at many LED as well, but they didn't really have anything like before COVID. They didn't really have anything on display to go look at. You know what I mean? Like when I take my pilgrimage to Best Buy, to not purchase anything from Best Buy, but
that's where
that's where I demo my things at. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look at it before I buy it off Amazon.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Yeah. But that was pre-COVID. They didn't have any. So I guess after COVID's over, I can go marvel.
And I can imagine they're probably going to start ramping it up too. Like when it starts to get to where this really dies down, you probably are going to see a lot more like electronics and stuff like that on display.
Yeah, definitely. But I think this goes right into our unofficial.
So what have y'all been playing?
Yeah. What have we all been playing?
What have we been playing? What have we been playing?
We're in this together. Yeah, so I've been playing Uh, Actually, I've been playing mostly Last of Us 2, but getting really into that. I really like the story that they put together in the game. Been mixing in with some Destiny 2, playing that on Xbox Series X. Um, and the wife was so sweet to me on Christmas. She got me was
Assassin's
it the
Creed,
Valhalla
yeah.
game for the PS5. Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's like the Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Um, so I'm gonna be checking that out after clear out some of the queue because I always get backed up with all these games I got to finish. Um, I still got to finish Breath of the Wild on the Switch. I put that to the
Oh
side
yeah,
for a bit
definitely.
because mostly because the wife and I play that together. We like to try to like just experience some of the game together. And she got busy with school. She has a bunch of things she's got going on. She hasn't been able to play as much. So when things calm down for her, we want to get back to that and kind of finish that game off and some other ones in our queue. And then I'm gonna move on to the next one, get the Miles Morales and Spider-Man game, and I want to finish that off, and I want to finish off the Valhalla, get into that one as well. So I got things queued up. Maybe more to come on that. More games. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
that's what we are
So,
playing
Levon, are
at
you
the moment.
telling me that your wife would rather
I
better
get that.
herself and provide herself better opportunities in the future than play video games all day? What is the world coming to?
Right? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the world's coming to. It's like I thought games were like the top
Yeah.
priority in life right now.
Man,
Yeah.
tell her people out here need to play video
Yeah.
games through y'all. Tell her to put them books down. All right.
That's right. Using me as a life experience
Yeah.
to play these games.
Yeah. How can we vicariously play these
Right.
games through you if
Right.
you over here
Right.
being busy? Like, yeah. But I have been playing The Last of Us 2. I've been playing on a PS4 Pro that I got on lend because I didn't send mine over here. I left it with the boys. So I had a coworker who got Series X, and then he was like, "This PS4 is for peasants. Does
Right.
anybody want to
Right.
borrow it?"
That piece of junk.
So, so I jumped on that. Yeah, so I jumped on that. It's really good, but I can't sit there and play it for hours because it's so dark. It's
Yeah.
like it's so bleak. I can't marathon it. So I got into the open world part and I had to put it down.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yo,
Right.
this is too bleak."
Right. It's it is. It's like and I sometimes I feel like a scaredy cat. I can't play like late at night when it's like everything's all dark. I'm like, and I'm in this scene where these zombies are popping out and like they're doing like these little scare scenes. I'm like, oh, I can't play this right now. I gotta wait till some daylight outside. Gotta wait till some sunshine.
Yeah,
I feel better.
it's definitely a whole mood you have to be in. Like I couldn't imagine playing this when it first came out because it had been in mid pandemic. I'd have been like, "Yo,
Right.
I gotta
Levon,
play
Right.
I'm
this."
gonna,
Yeah. It's
I'm
like
gonna
this is
just send
too
you a
real.
nightlight,
This is
man. I'm gonna just send you a nightlight so
Yeah,
you can play
like man, this is like
outside.
yeah. Send me a nightlight. Send me a nightlight and a teddy bear or something. I can like. Hold
but no, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that wraps it up for this week. Like I think it's a pretty good episode
Yeah.
after Christmas. Like people are still listening to podcasts, but nobody's really producing them because
Yeah.
of the
That's true.
holidays. So give the people something current, some relevant to
Yeah.
listen to.
I like that.
So I'd like to definitely thank the patrons of our Patreon, where they can listen to this ad free 7 days early. So as this one goes up, then I want to say episode five, we could go to free feeds with ads and what have you. Um, I definitely want to point people towards the web address is www.theothersideofthefirewall.com. The Patreon is The Other Side of the Firewall on Patreon. The Twitter is @on_firewall. The Facebook is The Other Side of the Firewall. The Instagram is The Other Side of the FW. And then my Twitter is Right Security Guy. And then Levon,
Oh,
your
just
Twitter.
Levon Maynard. Just at Levon Maynard. LEVON MAYNARD. If you want to hit me up on there, but also like obviously like you said, hit us up on the other side of the firewall, Facebook or Twitter. Love to get some feedback on there as well.
Yeah, definitely. And also, so we have the ability to for people to send us their voicemails, and then we can actually play those on air and
Oh,
answer those
nice.
questions. So I keep forgetting to say that. But if you have questions or you want to give us a review or something like that, and you want us to play your voice, hopefully it's only kind stuff. But I take constructive criticism very very well. If you want to give me
That's
some
right.
of that too, please do so, and then we can play it on the show. And then the link will be in the show description. I'll make sure it's in there.
That's what's up. Yeah, it'd be great to hear
So,
some
yeah, with all that being
audience
said,
members get their feedback. So hopefully we get some of that get some of that feedback in the future, and we can play it. I think that'd be pretty awesome.
yeah, I'll definitely like some questions. That would be cool. So we can flex our different areas of expertise. So people know what our
Yeah,
experience gives to the general public. You know what I mean? Like it's so much easier when someone gives you a actual question to then impart some
right.
kind of knowledge on it.
Absolutely.
So, all right, gents, it's definitely been a great show. I can't wait to do this next week. It'll be the second, so it'll be the day after. So, I guess we can't party too hard.
That's right. Yeah, we still be recovering from all the New Year's shenanigans. You guys have any
Not
big
me.
plans for New
No.
Year's?
I told you I had a kid for Christmas, man. What you think I'm doing on New
Yeah,
Year's,
no
man?
big plans. I figure.
Where am I going?
I know.
There it is.
You better be in the
I gotta
books.
start
That's what I
thinking
know.
about it now. I gotta start thinking about it.
That's all I know. Better be some books open at the Shannon household. Oh, man.
Yeah, we're pretty locked down here. I don't think they're gonna do anything. If they do it, it's gonna be mad early because there's
Yeah, yeah.
curfews and stuff to try to keep the COVID
Yeah, me
down.
and the family, we're gonna do like a quick. So we're gonna be different time zones, but my family that lives on the East Coast, we're gonna do like a little chat, little countdown over like I think we're gonna do like a Zoom call, something like that, and do like a little countdown celebration. Um, Besides that, just gonna be me and the wife. We'll probably watch the ball drop virtually, of course, and just hang out, get some bubbly, get some what do you call it? We don't drink, so we just get the apple cider, like sparkling, yeah,
Oh, the
sparkling cider,
sparkling.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be our
Okay.
plans, but we'll definitely let everybody know how it goes come our next show.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. All right, gentlemen. It's been a good one.
You too. Take
Take
care,
it easy.
guys.
Hey, listeners. Please remember that you can support this podcast directly by becoming members of the show's Patreon. Here, you'll be able to listen to the podcast 7 days early, completely ad-free. However, in these trying times, we understand that you may not be able to become a Patreon just yet. In that case, please listen to the show once it's available on free feeds, leave us constructive feedback, and share with your blurred friends and family. Thank you.